Governor Hochul is adding extra security to New York City after an intelligence report suggests that there is an increased chance of a terrorist attack as a result of the Israel-Hamas war. The intelligence was first reported by CBS News, and it found that there is increased chatter about a possible terrorist attack in the Big Apple. Joining me now, Tracy Walder, former FBI agent, CIA agent, and NewsNation national security contributor. Tracy, thanks for being here. This new threat assessment prompting the increased security in New York, what goes into making that type of decision and authenticating threats?
Well, thank you for having me, Marni. Typically, those threats actually start at the CIA level. The CIA is typically monitoring overseas terroristic type of chatter, just as you mentioned, which all chatter is an increase in activity on all our different types of intelligence capability collection methods. So signals intelligence, human intelligence, all of that is indicating that there is an increase in chatter by terrorists. That is then passed to the FBI, and then the FBI passes that to whatever local agencies that needs to go to.
So in this case, it went all the way to the state level, the governor now taking action. So big crowds will be gathering. We know this for the holiday, leading into Thanksgiving, leading into the Christmas and New Year holiday. The Intelligence Center is talking now about soft targets. What are those?
So soft targets are basically not military institutions. So we're looking at things like parades, things like protests, group gatherings where they're not military in nature. So that's what a soft target is. And really most people, quite frankly, engage, in and out of soft targets through the majority of their day and the majority of their lives. And so, what we're talking about is large scale gatherings. And that doesn't necessarily need to be a pro-Palestine or pro-Israeli protest. That just needs to be a large gathering of people.
Right. And so right now I'm thinking a couple days from Thanksgiving, you've got the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Thousands of people will line the streets in New York. What will they be seeing in terms of extra security, or will they see much extra security?
I think it's got to actually be a combination of both. You have to walk this really fine line in law enforcement. You don't want to create almost sort of a battle type of scene right at these soft targets. That's what's so hard to really regulate in between them. You will probably see, in my opinion, a lot of plainclothes or undercover law enforcement, more so than usual, that are being stationed through the parade route. I also think, too, one of the things they'll be doing is really monitoring and not allowing things like backpacks, purses, those kinds of things in and along the parade route. I think you'll see an increase of bomb sniffing dogs, explosive sniffing dogs, those kinds of things, as well as that aerial monitoring through, unmanned drones and those kinds of things.
What are some precautions, Tracy, that people in New York or elsewhere in big cities as we gather for the holidays should be doing to prepare for an increased threat as they go about their days?
I think the biggest thing that you can do, and I know this sounds trite and probably overused, but we don't do it enough, is if you see something, say something. If something looks suspicious to you, I was just at the airport 2 weeks ago, there was an unattended bag. I let security know, say something. Going out on just that 2-minute limb to go let security know really could save thousands of lives. It's really that easy. Also, if you see something on social media, report that immediately to local law enforcement, because I think that's where a lot of this planning is happening, is on social media.
What about if you see someone who seems suspicious? I mean, we live in a world where you don't want to offend anybody. You don't want to report something and be wrong about it. But if you see someone who just seems out of place or is doing something that raises an eyebrow, how do you report that?
I have to be honest with you. I don't necessarily care about offending someone. I'm happy to say sorry later.
Tracy, let me jump in real quick, and I get your point. Governor Hochul is talking about this right now. Let's listen in briefly. All right, it appears she is speaking.
And make no mistake, we've not stood idly by. My #1 priority has been and will continue to be protecting the safety of our residents. That's why I want to inform you about some of the actions that we're taking to keep New Yorkers safe from extremism and violence. We have a 4-pillar plan. It's comprehensive and it's far-reaching. First of all, we're strengthening physical security of locations. We're also making the digital world safer by identifying credible online threats. And we're also calling out social media companies who have failed their responsibility to create a safe public square and creating resources and toolkits for parents and schools alike.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.